G'day, welcome to this episode of The Daily. My name is Brendan Malone. Well, Saturday morning, we heard the sad news that our Bishop of the Diocese of Christchurch here, Bishop Barry Jones, had passed away in the early hours of Saturday morning. I wanted to dedicate today's episode of The Daily to explain three reasons why I think his impact was so profound and why he will be greatly missed by so many people. Others are obviously going to have their reasons and their memories of him, but these are three things that I think very strongly for me really stick out as important about Bishop Barry Jones. So first of all was his wise counsel, and I know I'm not alone in this. On many different occasions over the years, in the various ministry and leadership roles that I've had, I had to go to him to get counsel for issues, some of them very, very serious. And his counsel was just consistently always very clear, level-headed and calm, and there was great wisdom and depth in it. And I remember there was a real consistency with what he used to say, regardless of what the situation you were facing was. There was a pretty much a consistent message that you got from Bishop Barry, and that was this, that if you stay with Christ and you stay in the heart of the church, you can't go wrong. Don't veer off to either side. Stay with Christ and stay in the heart of the church. And the other thing I used to hear a lot from him was just proclaim the truth in love. Proclaim the truth in love. And I think, I know I'm not alone in this. A lot of people were greatly blessed by that solid, strong, very gentle, but very strong and wise counsel that we received from him over the years. The second thing that I think really strikes me as so awesome about the life of Bishop Barry Jones was his integrity. There was no persona. There wasn't Barry Jones the bishop and Barry Jones the man. Obviously he would have had things that he internalized, and that he didn't share everything with everybody, but there wasn't a fake sort of persona. He didn't play politics while he was bishop, and I saw this in action. Everyone was treated the same way by him. He didn't seem to make distinctions regardless of your status or your state in life. He just saw everyone's dignity and loved and respected everyone the same. I think in many ways, Bishop Barry for me is just a very clear and strong personification of what Pope Francis has talked about when he talks about his vision for an ideal shepherd. Someone who smells the sheep, someone who's compassionate, someone who's available and whose ministry is marked by mercy and love and charity. And that really is, I think, to a T, sums up Bishop Barry Jones and his ministry and the integrity that he showed during his time here as bishop. And last, and I think probably most important of all, was really his spiritual fatherhood. I know, look, whenever I would meet with him, he would always ask about I've got twin daughters. He would ask about my twin daughters for obvious reasons. And he would always ask how my wife Katie was doing. And whenever we finished a meeting, he would always end by saying, make sure you give my love to Katie. There was this real gentle care and concern for the people that he shepherded. And it was just so very, very evident. Look, I saw it in my own family, and my father, who walked away from the Catholic Church for a period, it was an encounter with Bishop Barry Jones that was pivotal in really bringing him back into the heart of the church in a very powerful and real way. And yet it was such a simple sort of thing. And I know that we're not alone in this, that I've talked with a lot of people who have stories about how the fatherhood of Bishop Barry Jones, even before he was bishop, well before he was bishop, the way in which that profoundly impacted their lives, maybe got them through a difficult period or reinvigorated their faith or caused them to come back to Christ when they were walking away. I used to think that a bishop should be some sort of strong, loud, leader who just goes around just proclaiming things boldly and telling people off and all the rest of it. But I've realised now that in actual fact, that what is so very necessary in our leaders, in our clergy, our bishops, our cardinals, popes, is we need spiritual fatherhood, people who are going to love us into the heart of Christ, love us into the heart of the church. And really, Bishop Barry Jones personified that in a very beautiful and profound way. And as I said, a lot of people I know had that same experience of him. There's a proverb that the Māori people use whenever someone who is important dies. They say, the totara has fallen in the forest of Tāne. And I think that's a really apt description about the passing of Bishop Barry Jones. Obviously, because he was chaplain to the Māori people in this diocese, and a much beloved chaplain to them for a period here. But also because he was a man who I think in his own simple, humble way really lived a profoundly important greatness, and that legacy that he leaves behind him, the legacy that he left behind him, and the way that he impacted so many people is quite profound and can't be understated. And I think one of the greatest ways in which he led was through his humility to Christ and his humility to the gospel. It was always something that was very evident from the way he talked to you, the way he led when he was bishop, and the decisions he made, and also the way in which he celebrated, Mass each Sunday or each weekday. Whenever you had Mass with him, there was just a real beautiful sort of humility that surrounded him. He'll be greatly missed. Rest in peace, Bishop Barry Jones. And everyone, don't forget to pray hard that his successor will be another man who, in his own way, will follow in those same footsteps that Bishop Barry Jones has already begun in this diocese. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow on The Daily.